Okay, we are live, or is it actually? You know what I like to say? I like to say we are alive and in living color, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you, wherever you are on the static planet. Dale, high spirits, quickly. My co-ghost host, the man next to me, the man, the hour, the man, the power. He's way too sweet to be sour, of course, folks. We all know that. My BFF since grade 5. We had sleepovers back then, backyard wrestling, all that stuff. Oh, guess who I am? I'm Michael John of Michael John's Paranormal Ghost Stories. Together, we are known as the voice of the paranormal, the voice for the paranormal. All the way from Windsor, Ontario, we are Windsor, Ontario's own, the paranormal voice. Proud to be here, happy to be here. Hashtag blessed, thankful, grateful, humble to be able to do what we are doing right here, right now. That is for all the creeps, the freaks, and the weirdos that make up the TPV Nation, of course. Facebook, YouTube. Oh, we are also on a thing called KGRA Digital Worldwide, Saturday nights at 1 a.m. That's Eastern Time. Dale, what a great show we got tonight. Couple guys, co-founders up. Something really special, really near and dear to us, near and dear to a lot of people. They got them coming in droves. We're going to talk about that in a hot minute. We got a couple things going on in our own world. There he is, Jason Cummins. Man, never call that guy late for the party. He's there, ironclad again. My man, thank you for popping in. Yes, greetings and salutations. Jared Kiger, howdy, man. He says, howdy. Well, howdy back. And Weirdo Marie, I love that name. Hey, she says. So, hey, back. Hi, everyone. Sylvie Molds. Hello, or Sylvia. Okay, I don't have my glasses on. If I had my glasses on, the trifocals, try and see anything, I probably wouldn't be able to read it. But, yeah. Hey, everyone. Brittany 1000. I hope I butchered that half-assed, I think. But, okay, focus.
Focus.
Stick on the ice, Michael John. Dale, what do we got going on? That's a hell of a T-shirt, by the way.
Absolutely, it's it's one of my favorite T-shirts. Oh, and thinking we have the other half here. Here's his lovely wife Amber.
I signed for her. She gets a little rascals. I signed. She's that cool. Love her.
Absolutely. No, we got a lot going on. I mean, coming up September, we're going to be headed down to the UFO Contact Convention right there in Holt Lake, Michigan. You know, one of our favorite places. And of course, Michael John himself is going to be speaking at that event. So, that is exciting in itself.
Oh my God, yeah! What a gift that is.
Of course,
to do that.
You know, I'm going to do this because this is why. And if you don't know, my good buddy over here, he's an author. He is a great author. It is a great book. For those that don't know, you should know. You got to get this book. Like I said, it's available on Amazon right now. If you haven't gotten yourself a copy, it's time to go over to Amazon and get yourself a copy because, you know what? It's all about him sharing his experiences in the paranormal. And I love the book, not just because I'm in it, but because he wrote it. But yeah, no, it's really exciting. So I'm glad to do a shameless plug for you. I know you're too kind.
Billy Mays has nothing on you. At any rate.
You know, that's okay. But but I am so excited about this show because this is the one show I look forward to each and every year because we get to talk about our favorite event of the year. And we have two of those guys with us today.
Two of the co-founders.
Two of the co-founders, the guys who've been putting something on that we have deemed for 3 years now, calling it the WrestleMania Paracons.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's a 3-day event. This is number 14. They've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to number 14. The 14th and final. Alas, I digress. Miparacon in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. I'll tell you what. This is a place where Dale and myself, countless experiences, not only us, I mean, the people that have come through those doors, whether it's the celebrities or the vendors or the people coming to just check it out and get their paranormal groove on, if you will. Memories are made day in and day out at that event. That is one of the places. That's like a pivotal point. If you're going to a Paracon anywhere in North America, this is a place you got to go to. It's a must-stop event for the experience. Dale and myself, I know, we were welcomed with open arms. Brad and Tim and Steve, the Yoopers made us feel at home right away, like we belonged. And that's what it's about, belonging. Not only that, but you start sharing, you're learning about the community, like in the sense of you realize, as we call the TPV nation, the creeps, the freaks, and the weirdos, you're surrounded by all those kind of people. We're all on the same level. We're all on the same playing field. No one's looking down their nose at you. Not only do you get to share your story, your paranormal stories, your paranormal experiences, but you get that back and you make friendships. It develops relationships and friendships. And that, again, going back to the beginning, square one, that is where, we really had our first experience together doing the Paranormal Voice. They gave us an opportunity to be a part of their event, which gave us an opportunity to grow and get out and show what we really had. It was a hell of a platform, and we're forever grateful for that opportunity. The Miparacon, again, 14th annual and final. If you've ever had a chance, if you ever had the money in your pocket to get out to an event such as this, and you've never gone before, this is the time to do it. And I'm not spreading cheeks. Maybe I'm a bit biased, but you know what? This is a great event, bar none. And all due respect to any other para convention that we've been to, this is the one. This is the, as I say, a ring a ding dong dandy of an event. You get my point. I can go on and on. Absolutely. Very sorry to see that this is the curtain call, if you will, but so many great stories, and I can't wait to get these guys out here to talk about exactly that. I mean, and the comments are lighting up. So many people are popping in here to see this because this is such a big event. These guys are such ambassadors to the paranormal community. I'm going to, without further ado, as they say, let's get them both out here right now. Brad Blair, Tim Ellis, co-founders of the Miparacon.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys. Welcome back, guys. We have missed you guys something fierce. I'm telling you, 365 days apart, it's a very long time. I mean, I know we get to run into each other's at others events, but I'll tell you, you guys have been so busy preparing for this year's Paracon and everything else you guys are doing. You guys are releasing books. You guys are doing other events. You guys are speaking all over the place. And we're so glad that you took the time to speak with us on the Paranormal Voice. Like I said, we are so excited. This is the one that I look forward to each and every year, as well as so many. I mean, the comments on the side are just pouring in for you guys, and we're so grateful. So, guys, it is something as heart-wrenching as this is. You guys are calling it the curtain call. It is the final Miparacon. Did you guys ever think you guys would get to this point?
No, not to this many years down the road. We've talked about this time and time again, and when Tim and I sat down and worked out the original, put this all together, we thought maybe if things went well in the original that we would get a second year. That was really all we ever strove for, was a 2-year run. And to be sitting here 15 years later might confuse some people. It's the 14th annual, but we lost a year for COVID. So, which, had to happen. This should have been our 15th, but yeah, it's kind of awe-inspiring just to see where the event's gotten to and the following we've built. And it's something that we never expected. Like I say, 16 years ago when we sat down and came up with the concept, we never thought we'd be here now in 2024 still hosting the event.
Yeah, you've had so many amazing guests. I mean, it's a who's who.
Yeah, everyone.
A to Z. I mean, could you pinpoint? I mean, a top three. If you say, okay, my top three out of all the years, our top three. If we could have one more, bring everybody from all the years, grab this guy, this girl, whatever. Top three. Who would you have?
Well, I think when we first put the event together, name number one that came up, the celebrities, the para-celebrity reality TV genre was really just going. Ghost Hunters was out for about 4 or 5 years at the time. Ghost Adventures had just really kicked off, but So, we want to have something to keep the show a little more legitimate in the eyes of the paranormal field and all the researchers out there. And I can name one that came up is the only gentleman who's been with us every year at Paracon. That's Mr. John Zaffis.
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, that was going to be one of my top 3. And there's a reason John has been here every year, because when Brad and I, when we were young, when our team, the Upper Peninsula Paranormal Research Society, when we were just starting out, there were certain people we looked to. There were certain authors and people in the field who were blazing the trail for us that we looked up to. And John was always that guy long before even thinking about this event. And so when we did our first event, we knew John had to be one of our guests. And he's like, yep, I'll do it. And he's literally the only one who can say, I've been at every Michigan Paracon, and for a reason, because Brad and I looked up to him in the beginning, and we still look up to him now. The work he has done, the trails he has blazed. So so John Zaffis for top 3 for me, Michael, would be for sure in that category. No doubt about it. Yep.
And everybody else under him. So
so
it's so hard to say a top 3. I don't, we've gotten to be such close friends with so many of these people that come in.
Yep.
And different people bring different aspects to the show. I mean, we've always tried to diversify since year one. We had cryptid speakers in, Linda Godfrey, who was amazing woman. We lost her a year or 2 ago here.
Yeah.
She was probably one of the first names that came up as well when we were starting to book, because we said, hey, we want to get a smattering of everything odd and paranormal into this. And Linda was the go-to person on the dogman and werewolf phenomena.
Yep.
So, we brought her in that year. We had, of course, Chip Coffey here, just an amazing gentleman who I've been lucky enough to call a very close friend over the years. We try and hit all different areas of the strange and unknown. We've had serial killer topics discussed before. We've had different forms of law enforcement and the paranormal discussed. We, everything down the gamut of cryptids, UFOlogy, ghosts and hauntings. I mean, just anything strange and bizarre that we thought people in our field, in our community would like to hear.
Yeah. If there was one more that I could throw on my list, and I think, and Brad, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Brad would be okay with this too, to say at least number 2 of the top 3. And he was one of our favorite authors before we ever started this convention, was Jeff Belanger. Jeff is an amazing writer. I've always loved his sense of humor that he puts in with a serious subject. And Jeff was one of the first ones we wanted to bring in from the very first Paracon we ever did as well. So for me anyways, I'll say Jeff is in that number 3. But to go from there, I agree with Brad. It's tough to do that. But for me, for sure, Zaffis and Belanger, when we did our first ever show, we knew we wanted those guys there.
Yeah,
Yep.
Absolutely. And another one that we really greatly miss, that was so iconic through the years, Rosemary Ellen Guiley.
Oh, God, rest in
Knew
peace.
everything about anything that was weird. That woman had books out on demonology, on angels, ghosts and hauntings, vampires, you name it.
Yeah.
She could speak to so many areas of the paranormal field. And she did a number of our events in the younger years. And unfortunately, of course, we lost Rosemary about 4 years ago now to cancer.
For sure.
And I had Tim and I were fortunate enough to work with her on our first book project. And you couldn't have a better writing coach. A better editor than Rosemary Ellen Guiley. She was just so amazing and such a taskmaster. Times that, oh God, Rosemary, I don't really like the way this. I think I'm gonna keep it this way. No, you're not. You're changing this. This is why, and this is how you don't write sloppy like this. And I've still got a file of emails from Rosemary.
Yeah, she kept our feet over the fire. Like she made sure. And here's the thing. So prior to that first book, we had been talking. We knew we wanted to put a book together on the case files of our team. We've been working over 20 years on it. There it is. Thank you, Dale. U.P.R.S. Natural Haunts, our first book. And that is based on over 20 years of our case files. And we knew we wanted to do it, but we had no idea where to start back then. Rosemary came in. She was like, guys, I would love, she was honored to do it. And we were beyond honored to have her want to publish our first book. And she worked us from day one to the moment it was published. We couldn't have asked for a better person to work under. She was amazing.
No, that was, God, we miss her a lot.
Yeah, we do.
She was such an icon in the field. And I don't want to say she didn't get the respect she deserved. I don't think she got necessarily the popularity that she might have deserved.
Yeah.
She had over 70 books published in her lifetime.
Wow.
She never really got into the TV stuff other than Paranormal Con on Camera. She started to do that just before she got sick. But so she never had the TV show that like threw her out into the stratosphere for everyone to know who she was. But people in the field who were reading and researching definitely knew who Rosemary Ellen Guiley was and respected her for her work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could not agree with you guys more. And I mean, really, I think I know we have shows like the Hoser Files that came out. I really think they should do a show on everything that she's ever done as well. Some of the stuff she's written about and some of the cases she's worked on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that would be exciting to have somebody like that in their files to come out because, yeah, you guys nailed it. Like she knew a lot about a lot because that's what she did. She seemed to be the type that when she thought of a subject, she dove in every rabbit hole possible to find out everything there was about that topic that she wanted to write about. And it's quite amazing. And it's such a blessing that you guys got to know her that well.
Yeah, it is.
Like I said, I met her the first time, or I think it was the year 3 that I came up. I remember meeting her. I did know who she was, and then somebody told me, and I was just like, the name sounded familiar, but it was just one of those people you don't know until you actually met them. But yeah, what a great personality, what a great person. So yeah, and you guys have inspired so many people with your events. The people who have come out over the years, the last 14 Paracons, people have really learned a lot coming out to your events. Got to meet some amazing people at your events. So, like I said, you guys created an atmosphere with the Miparacon that I don't think anybody else will ever be able to duplicate what you guys did.
Nor should they. I say that with all sincerity because, yes, imitation, they say, is the biggest, highest form of flattery. But, I would love to see somebody come out and just revamp, do their own thing. Don't try and copy what we did. Don't try and copy what's going on. Come up with something new and fresh. And that's one of the things, looking back, we did so much with this show over the years. We look at where we grew it from, and to just try and keep it fresh nonstop. And that's gotten harder and harder to do the last few years. And now you're losing most of the reality TV shows. So it's gotten tougher and tougher to bring fresh acts in, to get new people in, and just to keep it going. And I think we have no regrets. I would say with the show, I'm so proud of where we've gotten it to. But I'd love to pass the torch and see somebody else pick up and just with an out of left field idea and say, we're going to start doing it a show like that. We're going to do it this way. We're going to bring this in. We want to have it in these locations, just something different and fresh. I think it's time for that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. With every ending comes a new start, right? And whether that new start has anything to do with Brad and I or the Upper Peninsula Paranormal Research Society or someone brand new. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. I mean, us ending Miparacon does not mean we're done doing what we love to do. It just means it's a new start. It's a new beginning. And And Brad and I have a lot of things we have a lot of iron in the fires right now, and you know, some stuff we can't talk about right now, but we're working on a lot of new projects, and we'll see what happens, what comes from it.
And that's what I love about you guys. You guys, you know, you guys are making moves, but until it's time to drop that bomb, you're not doing nothing. But then when you do, there's a wow factor to it. And that's why I admire you guys. You guys have a lot of wow factors over the few years I've gotten to know you guys and watch you guys do the Miparacon like only you can do. And you know what's nice? You guys have made a lot of memories for people, you know, and that's a gift in itself, be able to give that, you know what I mean? Like, thank you from us. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that would like to shake your hands, give you a hug, and say thank you for letting me go there and see this individual, hear them talk, watch them put on a class, if you will, right? On and on. There's so many, the scale of the good that you guys have brought out from the Miparacon. You know,
I'll show up here in 2 weeks and you can give Tim a hug. Don't touch me, but
I'm grabbing your bum, bro. I'm grabbing the sheep.
Grabbing your bum. Grabbing your bum.
We wait until after the bar for that, Michael John. You know.
Brad and I were asked earlier in an interview that we did, obviously, since this news came out, you know, people are, here's the thing. So this interview was scheduled before the announcement ever came out. So this is, you know, this to talk about this, I'm sure was not part of the original script.
No.
But since then, you know, a lot of people are reaching out and wanting to do interviews and get snippet, you know, to talk with Brad and I. And earlier today, we were doing one, and the whole idea of what Miparacon became to what we had no idea what it was going to be. We were just too, I don't want to say we were kids. We were in our 30s, so we weren't kids, but we've always been kids.
We're still kids.
We are still kids. You're right, and that's why we keep doing what we do.
Old bald, wrinkly children.
Yes. So when we thought of the idea of the first Michigan Paranormal Convention, we had no idea what we were doing. We really didn't. That's the honest to God truth. We had an idea because we had gone to a few conventions. We knew what we wanted to do. Things aligned, planets aligned to allow us to do it and kick off our first one. Yes. And then it was popular enough where the second one came. But one thing that people always say, and you guys have already talked about it tonight, is you've created a place where people can come together and be themselves and not be judged and this and that. And we love the fact that that's what it became, but we didn't set out to do that because we didn't know what we were doing yet. Right. We just, Brad and I and our young team wanted to learn more, and we were hungry for more information. So we're like, let's bring something to the Sioux instead of us traveling all over the country for these very few events back then. Before we knew it, year 3, year 4, people were coming back and they're like, you're creating this family event. Like it's a family reunion for us now. And we're coming together and we're in a place where we're not judged and we can be open. And we had no idea what we were creating back then. It was revealed to us as years went on what this started to mean to people. And that's when Brad and I were like, shit, dude, we created something much bigger than we ever anticipated to do. And that's why it's so bittersweet, and why this year saying goodbye is going to be harder than ever because of what it became, which is this family reunion. And it's, I hate using the word safe space, but I'm going to use it. A safe space for people to come together and do their thing and be who they are, so that the other 361 days that they're in the real world, whatever that is, and they don't want to talk about it because they're worried about being judged or this or that. This is a 3-4 day event that people can come together, talk about this stuff, share this stuff. And not only are they not judged, they're supported, and we're sharing and we're growing together. And Brad and I never set out to create that. It became that, and we could not be happier for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There was a question here by Jason. It says, is there anybody past or present you wish you could have had come to the Miparacon that hasn't been there?
Yeah.
Easy answer for me, Brad. You can go.
Well, now I want to hear what you were going to say.
Well, if we can go past it, like obviously he's not alive, but one of Brad and I's first ever biggest people we looked up to was Hans Holzer.
Yeah.
I mean, could we have had Hans Holzer here ever? No, we didn't start it early enough. But if there's someone in the past that we could bring to Paracon, done deal. Hans Holzer, done deal.
We did at one time reach out to Lorraine Warren, and she was doing very few events outside of the New England area at the time, and we could never make that happen. I wish we could have. I would have loved to have had Lorraine here. I think other people that we made contact with or reached out and tried to book, and either in some cases they weren't that interested in associating with the paranormal, or some we just couldn't make happen. We had we reached out to the Oak Island guys some years back, and that show was first starting to get big, thinking they were from Michigan, maybe they'd be interested in coming in, and we definitely had some interest. We couldn't make that hook up. This year we tried to get Giorgio from Ancient Aliens. He was already booked for that weekend, so we've never gotten him in. There's a handful of names, but there aren't a lot. I mean, we've had so many people throughout the years that, I mean, the first year when it started, we wanted Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson. Ghost Hunters was the big thing.
Yeah.
That was, about 4 years in, they had a huge following. And the person we were using to book back then said, look, guys, they're already booked up for a weekend. You need to book them way in advance. There's this newer show that's starting to get a following, and I can get you the three main guys from that show cheaper than I could get you Jason and Grant anyway. It's a show called Ghost Adventures, and they're just coming out with their second season. And lo and behold, we ended up with Zach, Nick, and Aaron for our first headliners that year.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And not that show, in the meantime, from when we signed them to the show, that show really hit. I think their second season debuted, and all of a sudden their following grew exponentially.
Yep.
So it went from them being kind of a side second guest, well, can we make these guys work, to, line up out the hall, down through the casino lobby, people waiting to get pictures and autographs with these guys. So that was quite fortuitous the way that played out.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's so few people, especially in the direct paranormal television field, that we haven't had. I can't think of that many. I think
I would say Brad mentioned Giorgio. He's like the one guy right now I really wish we could get for the whole Ancient Aliens thing. We did, obviously we didn't get him this year, and we wanted to. So, but our the luck we had to get Ghost Adventures on year one was, it was like you trip and you fall in a mud puddle, but you come out looking like gold. Yeah.
No, I can't think of any major paranormal reality show that we have not had some kind of representation here from.
Mm-hmm.
You look through the years and all the shows, the Ghost Hunters, your Ghost Hunters International, Haunted Collector, Ghost Adventures, obviously, Kindred Spirits. You look at all of these shows that have been out there, and I mean, we've had at least partial representation of the casts here.
Right.
So, it's and we listen to the fans. We've listened to our attendees. People reach out and say who they want, and obviously you're going to get some outliers that you don't get a lot of requests for them that seem a little bit out there. But no, for the most part, you can sit back and read 50 surveys or 50 emails from people that have attended, and you're going to have an overlap of probably 25% saying they want the same people. So that's who we tend to go after.
And that's what I've always, what Brad and I have always strived for, and what I've always respected with our event was, it's not just the TV celebrities. We bring them in, they're big, and that's what people want to see. But we also want to make sure we're bringing in the authors that are doing that type of research and writing the books. Those who want to read the books are like, man, I love this guy or this person. And then on top of that, it's regional too. There's some regional people that we want to make sure we're bringing in. that are connecting with people, and podcasters now. Like podcast is becoming such a big thing, right? So it's really not just we never wanted to just be the reality TV event, but that's part of it. Absolutely, it's part of it. These people are blazing the trail too in their own way. So we wanted to make sure we were having this wonderful equal balance of TV people, authors, now podcasters, and we always tried to make sure we were making all of that mesh together.
And you've had some serious names too. I mean, last year you're talking about lineups with the Ghost Adventures. I mean, I don't know who had a longer lineup last year. You had Jack Osborne, but you also had the Ghost Brothers. I don't know who had a longer lineup at different points throughout the weekend. It was like, really, you know what I mean? I mean, we were right near the Ghost Brothers, and that was out the door. And those guys were great. And I got to say, you guys can pick them, because these guys were shaking everybody's hands, conversing with every individual person, taking time for them. And that's what it's about. And I loved seeing that. So good on you for getting them in. For all the other guests you've had, I mean, we got to watch that firsthand. So that was amazing.
Yeah.
We've had very, very few presenters through the years that you have to be a total dick to make it on our blacklist. You know, there are only maybe 3-ish people through the years that we've said absolutely not will we ever have this person back, and for various reasons. But like I say, usually it's they're dicks. So
and for any future presenters out there, you know, who are starting to get booked, or you want to get booked into events, even though Miparacon might be done, there's a lot of other amazing events out there. If you're booked, listen to us. Make sure you are talking to the fans. Yes. Giving time to the fans. Don't be on your phone scrolling at your vendor table. All right. Yeah. Be engaged with the fans, talk to them, take the pictures, shake the hands, because as event people, that's what we're looking for. We're watching that stuff. You may not see us watching, but we're watching. And I guarantee the other event people are. And they're watching to make sure you're engaging with the fans, because that is as important as anything. Because without the fans, without the ticket buyers, these events don't happen. Right. So make sure they're having the best time of their lives and getting those intimate moments with the speakers. And you'll be asked back to other events, because this is a small, Brad and I learned this real fast. This is a small community. It really is. Mm-hmm. And we're talking to people all the time, and people are reaching out to us all the time. We're sharing, book this person, book this person. No, this person was not good with the fans. No. Any future speakers out there, be engaged with the ticket holders, because that's what matters.
Yeah. And I mean, you look at the other events going on, and it's, you know, I don't know how many times through the years say, oh, well, you guys compete with this event and this. We don't. You know, every event's unique in its own way. After the announcement went out that this was going to be the final year, I got a very nice letter from John Ruggiero, who runs the New Jersey Paracon and New Jersey Para-Unity. And we've, the last few years, usually the week of the event, I get a, hey, good luck, brother. You know, best of luck with your show. Hope it all goes well. I reciprocate that when his show's coming up. And he just said, wow, you know, you guys have had one of the premier shows, and, you know, it's sad to hear about it going, but wow, what a run you guys have had. You know? Yeah. We talk back and forth with other promoters, other shows. So when somebody gets a reputation, we tend to share it.
Yeah, you bet we do.
Yeah. This is why we have to stay on your good side. Thank you, guys. But you know what? Everything you're saying is so true. I mean, just because people are on a television show or have 100 books out, but they don't engage with people or talk to people and give their time. I mean, you guys are paying these people money to be there, and at least, you know, they should be, you know, it's got to act like somewhat of a job, and you got to work your way in. I mean, how many people, you guys probably have a list 15 miles long, if not longer, of people who would have loved to be a part of the Miparacon.
Oh God. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
What
you
is
guys
that?
could probably do Miparacon 100 and still not have the same person twice. You know, besides the people that are everybody's favorite, like the Jeff Belangers, the John Zaffetses,
Mhm.
you know, those guys are great, but you guys gave breaks to so many up and comers that are now out there doing what they're doing passionately because you guys gave them that opportunity. And the advice that you're giving to people right now is worth $1 million. Like, yeah, if you want to be in this field, you want to be out there as a speaker,
Mhm.
engage, just be a part of the atmosphere because it is truly amazing. You guys created a family, you guys created an event, and it was all based on respect and love of what you guys do. The passion you guys have for the paranormal is sky limits above most people I know. Like, you guys are truly, truly genuine guys, and you're fun to be around. You guys are fun to be around, even before the drinks.
Brad, can you pull me down out of the atmosphere? Because Dale's really he's getting me up there. Can you pull
Well,
me
you have
down?
that 15-mile list of names. I wanted to know what that translated to in kilometers, but
Oh, let me get out my Google.
Yeah, please, for our Canadian friends. Winter's very own, please.
literally
Convert.
year-round, we get hit up by people that want to present. And this has been one of the harder things for us over the years is
Yes.
you have to tell a lot of people no.
Yeah.
And some people don't actually seem to get it at first. And sometimes you just say, look, we look for people in certain criteria. You know, we love giving breaks to people, especially if they have new books out, they're an author, they're building an expertise in an area that not many people have, maybe, or they've got a podcast that's really taken off huge. You just landed on a new TV show and you want to promote that. But so many people come and say, well, we've been part of this ghost group for 4 years and we've investigated these 3 places over and over. Well, good. That's a great start. But are we going to give you a spot in a lineup that, what are you going to bring that we don't have 200-300 other people literally in a year that want to do the exact same thing?
Right.
And it's, you don't want to discourage people from keeping their way going in the field, but you don't, God, if you would have told Tim and I, back 15 years ago that we were going to be appearing at shows and talking and giving lectures and have these books out and have shows and do, we never would have believed it then, but we never would have approached somebody and just said, hey, we've got a paranormal team. We want to present at your show. Unless it was a show that was specifically around just ghost hunters. And it's been tough. It's been tough over the years when you have to turn some people down. But the bottom line is this is not an inexpensive show to run. We have well into the 6 digits of bills to cover. Our lineup is expensive. Our travel is expensive. And if your name's not going to sell tickets, well, you better live very close or be, we've always given a nod to some of the younger folk in Michigan and some of the up and comers because it is the Michigan Paranormal Convention. And we do like to have, some local flavor to it. So we've always tried to work those people in. But as far as, are we going to fly somebody from a paranormal group in Nebraska in because they got this great picture of an apparition somewhere and they want to talk about it, but they don't really have much more than that to offer? Well, no, you can't. Throw that stuff to some of your regional shows, go in, do those, start building up your reputation, start building up your knowledge base a little bit more so you're sharing something with the people that are coming to see you. You're not bragging it up. You're not just there pushing yourself. You're giving something back to the field. And that's who we like to bring in here.
Yeah. And prior to even Miparacon starting, what Brad and I, first started, we reached out to our local library to get our first talk.
Yeah.
We gave our first talk there. Then from there, it went well. So then they shared it with other libraries. So then we went regional with our libraries. And that's where you start. That's where you start, is with start local, start with your libraries, because they're always looking to bring people in. They have a budget for that, to bring people in to do like interesting talks. So start there, start with your libraries. That's where Brad and I cut our nails, and we still do it. We're not above our library. We love our libraries. Our libraries is where we started. So we love giving talks to our local and regional libraries.
Yeah.
That's always a thing for us. The thing is, with Miparacon and any event at that size, there's a business side to it. Once it grows, there becomes a whole business side to it, and it has to make sense for the money in and the money out, right? And, and that's what it becomes. But if you want to start with your libraries. They're always looking for interesting talks and people to bring in.
And don't wait until October.
No, do not.
Big mistake that a lot of people cutting their teeth do is, well, we're going to hit them up. We're going to hit up our local library, our local. Tim and I talk at the local schools. Different things. Yeah, but put it there. They're booking. You have to remember they're booking their lineups months out.
Yeah.
So realistically, right now might even be a little bit late to try and hit up a library for an October talk.
Yep, but try it. I mean, if you're ready, try it. Yeah, but it might be a little late. You're right.
6 months out is not unreasonable to say, hey, we're booking now for October.
Yeah.
If you're looking to do something like that, and like Tim said, that's your best. The best way to get your foot in the door and get some experience speaking in front of crowds. Figure out what people want to hear and what they don't. And there's going to be telltale signs. The crowd will let you know whether they tell you or it's through reactions, body language. Yeah. You're going to know when you're hitting the right chords, and you're going to know when you hit the wrong ones.
From when Brad and I started giving our first talks, we probably have well over 15 to 20 lectures we can give. Within that, there's been some bombs. And we learned it. We learned it early on. And that's fine. You learn that, and that's fine. If you give a talk and it's not good, you get rid of it and you create a new one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's okay to have bombs. It happens.
Well, you can't be good 100% of the time. We're not Jeff Belangers who can knock it out of the ballpark.
Exactly. Yes.
As soon as he opens up his mouth, everybody's just like, or John Penny, who. Another great speaker who you guys have had over the year. I mean,
one of the best, in my opinion.
Those guys there, I mean, they could probably eating a grilled cheese sandwich sound like the most spectacular thing you've ever done in a lifetime.
Well, I think that's a thing called mukbanging, isn't it? You can make money off it these days, I think.
Tenny, for not being a big TV guy, Tenny is one of our most requested presenters ever.
Yep.
Ever. And every year he has one of the biggest crowds in the theater when he's speaking. And John's just so engaging.
Yes.
And like you say, it's one of those things. He's got a way with words. He's got that kind of soothing voice to him. That's just always you never see Tenny get too worked out.
No, he's just an amazing storyteller.
Yeah.
So I just saw the one question come across wanting to know if Brad Blair was related to Linda Blair. And I will answer this. No, he is not. But he is possessed. Just like Linda was. So, yes.
I have vomited some green things from time to time. That is a different story for a different show.
That's the after story of this year's Miparacon. How it's going to be Jonestown. People are going to be scattered all over the casino, piled out drunk. I hope the casino is really doubled up their order on alcohol this year.
Well, being the last party, it'll be a big one. There's no doubt about it.
And speaking of that, I mean, so the event, the Miparacon 2024 14th annual. Final chapter, if you will, Kewadin Casino Hotel Convention Center. There it is right there. That's Thursday, August 22nd, Friday, August 23rd, Saturday, August 24th. It'll wrap up.
Yeah.
Who's who in the paranormal community. You got so many amazing speakers, workshops. I mean, go on the website, miparacon.com to see all that stuff. When does it start? What? So it starts on the Thursday. I see 2 p.m.
No, it actually starts Wednesday if you want to come in early. We have a free party for everyone, a free party.
We have the pre-party in the Rapids Lounge at Kewadin Casino on Wednesday night. That is open to everybody. You don't even need a weekend pass to show up at that.
No.
Tim and I are going to be doing a little fun segment on that with Aaron Sagers, Jessica Chobot, and David Sloan, who's the doll keeper for Robert the Doll. We've got a little something we're working up for that, and there will likely be a secondary panel of some sorts. It's just a fun welcome to everybody that gets in a little bit early, gives everybody a chance to say their hellos and kind of kick back before the complete monstrosity that is the weekend kicks off on Thursday at noon.
Yeah, it's a great way to get a hangover on Thursday morning and keep the hangover going for the next 3 days. It's perfect.
I always tell people I'm going for a 3-day party and a Paracon breaks out.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's perfect. That's perfect. Again, Brad and I were talking earlier today that and anyone who's ever been to Miparacon, like any night, because we're in a casino that has like 3 bars, so a party can break out at any moment. Like Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, the party's going to break out. It's going to happen. People are partying, but Saturday night is always the big one because the work is done. The event is over. Everyone's letting loose. So the big party is Saturday night, and then Sunday is the hangover, goodbyes, and the cries, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah.
This year will be different, right? So that Saturday night party is going to be something that I don't know what to expect other than more emotions than we've ever had, because it's going to be the goodbye, the final goodbye. Yeah. And that's going to be tough to deal with. But it's going to be a hell of a party. I can tell you that much. It's going to be a hell of a party.
So that leads me to the question of this. You guys have been doing this for 15 years, 14 years. You guys have always said as soon as this Paracon is done, you guys take like 2 weeks off, kind of recoup your minds, get your livers back in check. How do you guys think you guys are going to feel comes Monday morning? We're not even going to talk about Sunday because Sunday's the cleanup. Everybody's still there. Everybody's still enjoying themselves. We're talking Monday morning. What does that look like for Brad and Tim and the rest of the Yooper team that you guys have been doing this for so long? I know this is a difficult question, but
I need a crystal ball. I need my crystal ball to see that one, right?
But just it's like 15 years of your guys' life.
It is
such an amazing event, and you, like you guys said, this is not something you guys put together in a weekend. No. This is something you guys planned all year round.
It takes 14 months to put a show together.
Yeah. Right.
So normally right now we would be working on next year's event.
Right.
We would have our initial wish list of presenters. We'd have people signed. So Monday morning afterwards, I like to think there's going to be a feeling of accomplishment, that we did something that we didn't even set out to do, but here we are 15 years later plus, and looking back at everything we did and everything the Yooper.S team put together with this event, the family that was built, the friendships that were made. We've had people get married at the event. We've had people meet and get married afterwards. Yeah. There's there have been a lot of amazing moments throughout the years. Somebody asked the other day if we would ever think about writing a book of behind the scenes at Michigan Paranormal Convention. And I thought, we could, but I don't think so. I don't think that's something we want published and out there. And
that is true.
Some parts for the reasons Tim's laughing about, but the other thing too is there's so many genuine emotions in it that I don't want to commercialize that part of the show.
Yeah, that's true.
If that makes sense. No, I think Monday will be a mixed bag of emotions. We kind of hit that point, especially for me, I think this year that, is so much work goes into the event and so many hours go into it. And it kind of got to the point that I'm looking back and I think, yeah.
You're right. It's just like Vegas.
Yeah. We're kind of at that point though where it's getting harder and harder to keep things fresh, and it's getting harder to do different things. We've gotten kind of that mold set on what Michigan Paracon is, even with bringing in different presenters, having different workshops and things. It's just looking at where could we go to keep making this a better event, and it gets harder and harder by the year. And obviously we're giving it our all nonstop, 365 days a year to make the event happen. And it just, you hit kind of a burnout point and you look and say, what more do we have to accomplish with it? Right. I mean, not that we were out to ever be number one or to try and make, set a standard, anything like that. But, I've seen enough shows, and I know you guys probably have too over the years, that have started up and did well for a bit, and then you see promoters run them into the ground. And you hear, oh, how awful this show's become, and it used to be so great. And I said, we're never going to do that here. We're not. When we hit the point that we think it's time to jump off, we're jumping off, and that's what we're doing this year. And we've
the whole stop when you're on top kind of thing. Yeah, I mean that's kind of, and I'm not saying that egotistical, but sometimes you have to take a look at that. Like, do we continue to do what we're doing and it gets less and less each year, or do we say, hey, we've done a hell of a job, things are still good? And that's what makes this decision tough, because you do have to make the call when you're still on top.
Yes,
but you have to look down the road and the way things are going, and we're watching other events that are folding. And I'm not saying that was our call, but we are just looking down the road. And it's like, as Brad just said, do you become a lesser version of yourself when you finally say, all right, we're done? Or do you say, we're here and we're walking away with our heads held high? And down the road, 2-3 years down the road, a new version like Brad and I or someone else may come out with something different and a different event. We don't know. As we said, so you were asking, Dale, like, come Monday, what are we feeling? How with Brad? I sense of accomplishment, sense of holy shit, we carried this for 15 years. Sadness at the same time. Like, I want to look forward to this event again next year. We don't have it. But as I said earlier in the show, Brad and I and our people, we've got irons in the fire, and we're working on other things right now too that I believe are going to end up taking that space of our time and our energy to create something different. So it's sometimes you just got to walk away when you know it's the right time, even if it hurts.
I would hate for it to be a Sunday morning and having people leaving Kewadin Casino, where right now everything is so, everyone's hugging and what a great weekend, and we get a lot of positive feedback. And there's always a little bit of negative, but when you've got 1,500 people crammed in a venue, not everybody's going to be happy about everything.
Never.
But I would absolutely dread hitting that year where you're hearing people leaving saying, I remember back in 2024, how the show was, and, man, it's just not that way anymore. And I wish the show was more like it used to be. And do you remember when this show was? I don't want to hear that. And I don't think we expect to hear that this year. And like I said, I think we've given what we can. and I don't know that we have more at this point with this show.
Yep.
To keep making it the event that
Fresh.
it's
Yes.
become.
I agree.
So the final, for me, the final question on my end as we're ending up getting to the end of the hour here, goes by so fast.
Yeah.
Both of you, leave us with this. To be remembered for the Miparacon, what would you want to be remembered for? The Miparacon, someone says, okay, or for yourself, okay, I want people to get this out of it. For either one of you, what, like, however that resonates for you, know what I'm trying to ask here, I think. What do you want to be remembered for with the Miparacon? Bottom line.
I don't think I necessarily need to be remembered for it. And I think I'd probably talk for Tim too. I think the event itself.
No, the event itself, sorry.
The event itself should be remembered for a gathering of friends, of diverse friends, of people that become family, of people that, met here. I hope that people that made friendships over the last 15 years at the event, 15 years from now, are still talking or messaging or whatever, getting together every year or every other year and go on a paranormal journey somewhere else. Go, vacation, see the world, hit these different weird and wonderful places that are out there. Experience these for yourselves. You're coming to these shows, listening to people talk about, all of these adventures and all of these experiments they're doing and places that they're going, and you're paying to listen to them do it. Take some time, take some money, make it work somehow or another, but get out there and see the world. Life's too short. Get out, travel, do what you love, follow your passion. And I hope some of these people do it with their friends and their family that they met here at Michigan Paranormal, and they can look back and say, that was the place. That was the place that introduced us to each other. That was the place that put this idea in our head, that birthed this passion that changed our lives. That would be the biggest compliment I think that as a promoter on this I could get.
Yeah. I mean, I echo what Brad said. I mean, I want to know that, and I already know this. We already know this because of what I said. Like from year 3, we realized we were building a family where people felt safe. I love the fact that we built that, and it's continued to build every year. Now, as Brad said, take it and run with it, right? Whether you go to another event or you just go do your own thing, find your people, find your tribe. Don't let anyone tell you that you're weird because you believe in ghosts and UFOs and Bigfoot ever. Trust in that, believe in that, love that, embrace it. Brad and I, since we've been kids, that's why we did this, right? That's why we're still doing it in our 50s. Which, by the way, Brad just had a birthday yesterday, so happy birthday to Brad.
21.
Happy birthday, Brad. He's only 21. He could drink at the event.
That's right.
But what I'm saying is,
first time.
But what I'm saying is, we continue to get older. We continue to get older, but we never stop loving this childhood grasp of ghosts and Bigfoot and UFOs and Loch Ness Monster and the Dog Man. And we'll never let go of that till the day we die. I promise you that. And so don't be afraid to embrace that, but find your people who support that. And hopefully, if anything, Miparacon brought you to that group that can continue beyond this.
Nice. Thank you.
Absolutely. Guys, I've told you guys many, many times, I met you guys 10 years ago this year. I mean, this will be 10 years that I've been going to the Miparacon.
You put that shit on your calendar? That's kind of creepy.
I thought we kicked you off that first year.
You're a stalker.
But yeah, you guys have created something, a standard. If you guys have brought together some amazing people, you guys created memories beyond memories for thousands of people from all around the world. I mean, it's quite interesting when you host an event that attracts people from around the world that come to be a part of something so spectacular and so great. Like I said, it's been a true honor being a part of your guys' journey, being a part of meeting so many fantastic people. It's the reason why me and Michael John sit here today. We met passionate people at the Miparacon and just wanted to be a part of it as much as we possibly could. You guys opened the doors to us 3 years ago. We will forever be grateful that you put the paranormal voice on the roadmap, and we have gained lots of friends because of that. You guys will go down as part of something gigantic, and I look forward to seeing what you guys are going to do coming up in the future, because whatever you guys do, I know you guys do it with 100% passion and 100% heart. And that's all I can say about you guys. Thank you guys so much. For those of you that have not got your tickets yet, you guys definitely need to get on the horn. Get yourself some tickets. The Miparacon.com. You might have to pitch a tent out in the parking lot at this point, because I think the whole entire town is sold out. There'll be a lot of people sleeping in cars, sleeping on the sidewalks outside the casino. Whatever it takes. Make sure you guys get down there and be a part of this 14th annual Miparacon, and you get to see what we were talking about here today: the love, the passion, the respect, and what it's like to be a part of what I call the world's biggest family reunion. So, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks. There's going to be pops pop in, that's for sure. And we want to say thank you so much. So myself, before Michael John takes over, Tim, Brad, thank you guys so much for being who you guys are, and thank you so much for putting this on all these years.
Thank you, Dale. Appreciate you.
You guys making the memories from day one to day now. It's because of you that a lot of us have lived our dreams and are continuing to do so, and just enjoying the paranormal community as a whole. So thank you both very much for that. As well, your partners as well that you also deal with. What a great show. A chance to sit down with you guys and kind of, peel the layers of the onion, as they say, to kind of get to know you guys a little more in depth. You guys are vulnerable tonight, and I appreciate that, because that's what this is about, just opening up a little bit more. And you can't ask for anything more than that. Nothing but love for both you guys. Absolutely. Thank you to all our fans, the Miparacon.com, tickets, information, everything you need more. Get your butt out there August 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. It's going to be a blast like none other. You don't want to miss it. I'm telling you that for sure. But in the meantime, and in between time, happy hauntings.
Happy hauntings.